Good afternoon, everyone. My name is James Epkins. I am the secretary of the PS Leadership Training, student branch leadership training. So right now we'll be having our the annual reports and brainstorming. With us, we'll have Dr. Armstrong, Madonna Armstrong. She is a senior manager of High Power Labs at Power Tech Labs. And she is the IEEE Vice President of Chapters at IEEE PES Vice Principal of Chapters, excuse me. We'll also have Dr. Safir Rahman. He is a 22-year professor at Virginia Tech and current Joseph R. Loring Professor of Electrical Engineering. And he is the past president of IEEE PES. So a couple of things to keep note of during during your presentations. Each presentation will have a maximum of 2 minutes. And we'll have after 30 minutes, or about 30 minutes, we'll have a final platform for discussion and everybody to explain their presentations and any suggestions that you may have for all of the presenters. With that, I will hand it off to, I'll give it to Conrad.
Yes, I share here the list of the presentations. Okay.
Which one? Okay, here we go. Okay, so first we'll have Lane Smith from the University of Washington.
James, the time limits and all that, do we have to share that too?
Yeah, just one thing. We have this sequence of students. They're going to present. The sequence based on the submission. And as soon as I show your PPT, your presentation, we have a small flag here in the upper corner right. And as soon as we see go, it's starting the time and you can start the presentation. We have another flag after 1 minute, like 1 minute left, and another flag on 30 seconds left. And the last flag is just stop, is when you reach the 2 minutes, and then you need to finish your presentation, okay? So
do they have 30 seconds extra time after 2 minutes?
Sorry?
When would you stop? Is there 30 seconds extra after the final flag? Okay.
No, it's 2 minutes. Yeah, so we have one flag at 0, one flag in 1 minute, 1 minute and a half, and the last flag is stop when you reach 2 minutes. All right? I cannot hear you, Lane.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, let me start again here, okay?
Okay, sorry about that, thanks.
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Lane Smith. I'm a PhD student at the University of Washington. And so today I'll be talking to you about our branch here, which has been inactive for, I think, about a decade or so. And so this is something that I've been looking into trying to get started back up. A little bit about the power and energy student body here at the UW. We regularly have about 30 to 40 undergraduate students in our various introductory power systems coursework. So we have a strong base to work from there. We also have a really established research community here that annually attracts PhD and master's students. And so this is just looking at our electrical and computer engineering department. Also on the campus, we have a really strong community interested in clean energy, kind of anchored with our campus's Clean Energy Institute. So that's across all sorts of engineering and the sciences, getting into policy and business as well. Some of our goals for reactivating our PES student branch here is to help connect students to the local power and energy community, So that's, we here in Seattle, we do have a PES branch as well as an IEEE chapter here as well. So it'd be great to connect with those folks. It'd also be great to be able to host local and national power and energy leaders for seminar style presentations and networking events. Even if we weren't able to host, it'd be great to be more of a stakeholder in department decisions for bringing in different speakers. And so, you know, that'd be a goal of the group. In the Pacific Northwest, we have a ton of really interesting power system sites with hydro and really cool, you know, T&D projects. We also have some really interesting climate tech companies. And so it'd be great to be able to go on tours to all those and, you know, organize a following to go. I really think that that's an underrated part of engineering education, is being able to tour these facilities and, you know, see what stuff looks like actually in practice. And finally, it'd be great to provide educational outreach. We've talked about that a lot today already, but being able to interact with local K through 12 students to help inspire the next generation of power and energy leaders. I imagine early on, we would be able to work with other great groups we have here at the UW that are already kind of integrated into providing some of that energy outreach to the local community. So yeah, thank you for listening to my talk today, and happy to meet you all.
Thank you, Lane. So we had an issue here with the flags. My apologize for that. But I was like counting the time here. It was exactly like 2 minutes. But for the next speakers, I will just say 1 minute 30 seconds. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Second one.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Haytham Kanakri. I'm a PhD student from Indiana University, Purdue University, from Indiana Annapolis. I do not have an active role with the student branch chapter currently, and I'm planning to reactivate the branch and the activities. My plans to get engaged with the PES volunteering. My plans is to create Indiana Power and Energy Conference by 2023 in the university. Also arrange invited talks by practicing engineers and researchers in both academia and industry to our branch, as well as help other graduate students to participate in the activities and get involved more in our branch. Thank you.
Thank you.
So hi everyone, my name is Edward Kang, and I am an undergraduate student here at McMaster University. I am in the newly elected chair for the McMaster IEEE student branch for the 2021 and 2020 school year, and I'm also here with my vice chair, who I'll invite to introduce.
Hi, I am Evan Tanojaya. I am also an undergraduate student, and I am the first vice chair for McMaster IEEE student branch PES chapter.
Thank you. So to talk a little bit about our student branch chapter, the PES chapter here was started in 2017, and since then, some of the greatest successes that we've had in the last couple of years was organizing with G&W Electric a tour of their local facility. In this tour, we were able to learn the history and a little bit about what the company does, as well as some concepts of circuit breakers, switch gears, auto closers, etc. Learn how the basic power grid handles faults and see how their equipment was made. And it was honestly a very cool experience back in 2019. But since that, the chapter has been dormant since the 2019 to 2020 school year, and the pandemic didn't really help either. But now we are working to reactivate the chapter by planning workshops and events that will engage the student body via technical learning and networking opportunities, and collaborating with our local chapter here in Hamilton. So essentially what we want to do is build a social hub for students pursuing the power and energy field. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go for the fourth presentation. Stay speaker here.
Good day. This is Alua Palumi. I'm a third-year undergraduate student at the University of Saskatchewan. I was part of the 2020 to 2021 IEEE PES SBC committee last year, where I was serving as the administrative director. And some of the events that we had, we organized multiple power and energy webinars online. We also organized multiple IEEE PES contests. and we were fortunate to win a third place in the multicultural video contest event. Going forward, our new executive committee consists of the communication director, Deep Singh, who's not with us today. I'm the chair, and there's also Suraksha. Just give her a minute to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Suraksha Sapkota, and I'm an undergraduate of electrical engineering at the University of Saskatchewan.
Thank you. Also, our future plans for 2021 to 2022 year are planning future power and energy interactive events now that the pandemic is slowing down and we're opening more events. We're also planning to organize more contests to engage students and attract new members. We're also planning certification courses and course-specific tutorials to help students academically. We're also thinking of planning industry tours. Thank you.
Thank you. The future presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cesar Negri. I am a PhD student here at Texas Tech University. And here we are opening our student branch chapter.
Can you speak up down here? Can you speak up?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay. So, and we opened the chapter in April 19, 2021. The first participation that we have was on the PES Day 2021. We presented three workshops, one virtual tool in some of the facilities here that we have in the microgrid, another one related to protection overhead lines, and another one with previous students sharing their experience in the transition of the academia to the industry. Basically, we have been involved in member engagement and also participating in the leadership training now and the PSGM. And for future goals, we have like me, Cesar, I'm a vice chair of the chapter, and Saeed is the president. We are going to be graduated soon, so we plan to pass the information to the new leaders. We opened this chapter based on the interest that we have here in the group and the graduate students and also some undergrad. So we would like to share this experience and to be able to continue. We also want to prepare the new SBC board, the new members recruitment, and face-to-face events and preparation for the PES Day 2022 as well. And we are like to basically connect with all the chapters around the globe to be like part of the community. So, well, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. The sixth presentation. I have Nat here. Is Nat here? Okay, I think we can jump this one, and if not, sure, we can present later. Okay. The seventh one, Randeep.
My name is Ramandeep and I'm from University of California. I'm MS student and IEEE student member. Right now, I'm doing a summer internship in PG&E utility. And in previous, for the IEEE involvements in my university, we have a IEEE society. I will look forward to do some events and involvement with my university students. And more, and some of my achievements of 2019 is I was data analytics. I earned data analytics certificates in UCSC extension, and then got an MS in Golden Gate University in San Francisco. I was also serving there as a vice president in the business and data analytics club. And we have done several events, and I hosted the Python workshop one time while serving as vice president. In 2020, I got admission to University of California, Santa Cruz for my MS, and I got transfer from Golden Gate University. Right now, as I mentioned, I'm doing summer internship and also encouraging as this might be really popular, charity begins at home. I also encourage my community students to have more learning on math and science. I paid for some of their online tuitions. I just thought that this is a first step, and the first step taken right always leads the student in the right direction. And main goal, what I will be looking forward while serving this leadership role will be at local level and my university. I will have get-together learning experiences for PE, EITs, and our university students. And in 2020, I would like to work with on my goal of inviting a woman in the STEM in the industry that and some students. I just got some over. I need to stop. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Those are my little hobbies if you've given me a few minutes. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, the eighth presentation, Riza.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Reza Mahru from Louisiana State University. I'm a PhD student. The IEEE Power and Energy Society student chapter at Louisiana State University involves three main centers, which are Department of Electrical Engineering, Department of Renewable Energy, and Center of Energy Studies, and in which 4 faculty members and 4 graduate students actively work to organize the overall general things of this section and introduce different aspects of power energy systems and renewable energies. Some of the previous activities that this section directly contributed to are holding career discussions in the different departments that I mentioned, involving inviting academic professors and industry engineers to give talk for students, and attending a variety of conferences and general meetings. Our future plans are for next year are to continue to monthly meetings to keep our network active and share more ideas, keep inviting professors from academia and also industry leaders to satisfy both graduate students and undergraduate students who like to be familiar with industry.
Right.
Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much, Riza. The ninth presentation. The speaker. Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Akip Rizada. I'm representing the student branch chapter here at A&M. As many of you know, we have a very active and a very vibrant chapter here at A&M, established way back in 1998. The initial idea was, and still is, to promote, to strengthen the relationship between industry and academia. And to that end, what we have been very successful at doing over the past 4 years now is organizing the IEEE Texas Power and Energy Conference. It's a student-run conference. And when we started out in 2017, we had about 110 attendees. And that number has grown over the past 4 years. And the most recent TPEC was held online due to the pandemic. But going forward, we plan to have the next TPEC, which would be sometime around January, at the end of the January next year, to be held face-to-face. Other activities the chapter is involved in is organizing seminars. We do that in collaboration with the Energy and Power Group here at A&M. In these seminars, we invite speakers from industry as well as academia, and we talk about the latest developments in the power and energy field. And we also, you can see some pictures here from a technical seminar This is pre-COVID, and going forward, we plan to, as the country is beginning to open up in the fall semester, we would restart these technical seminars, face-to-face seminars here at campus. We also had a PES day celebration at A&M. This is from, I guess, 2019. So yeah, that was about my chapter, and thank you.
Thank you. Now the last presentation, Priya.
Hi everyone, thank you. Hi, I'm Priya Mana, and I am currently a PhD student at Georgia Tech, and was a treasurer last year and a nominee for the president this coming academic year, or the chair, sorry. And last year itself, so we had a great year. We have about 200 current students in our student chapter. We held about 21 technical seminars last year. We had speakers from all over, including academia, industry, ISOs, utilities, all different career stages, different mid-career and senior folks, and of course different genders, honestly, to balance it out. And we had a great year of various technical seminars. We also had some really prominent speakers such as Professor Saifur Rahman, Professor Freddie Blabier from Alberg, and so on. So that was last year, and then we also did. I was the ambassador for Region 3 for IEEE PES Day events, and we held a panel that was open worldwide and that was basically a startup panel, but that was one of the various activities we did last year. We were the year before for the activities that we did the year before, we were one of the winners of the High Performing Student Chapter Award. And now going forward, it's a very exciting time because we did learn a lot from our virtual seminar series, but we also had lessons learned from our in-person series. So we are going to mix both, have some in-person, some hybrid, just so that we can make the best of all. We do plan to, even though we have a good number of students in our branches, we don't have enough PES members, so we do want to increase that. We do want to do more collaboration with other groups. We have a really good friend who works with a lot of local schools under the Society of Black Engineers. So that's one thing that I've already in the plan. So yeah, we have a lot of great plans for the coming year, and we look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, these were all the presentations. Over to you, James.
Okay, thank you everybody for your presentations. So now, with the remaining 30 minutes, we'll take the time to start our discussions and any suggestions that you may have for all the presenters.
Yeah, just adding one thing, the evaluation will be made after this session, where Dr. Saifur and Dr. Armstrong is going to meet together, and they are going to do the evaluation, select the best 3 presentations. But for now, the idea is just have some brainstorm about the presentations, some suggestions for future activities, and some general comments about the chapter's activity so far.
So we are learning from each other. That's what it is. If something caught your mind and you have a question to ask from a fellow colleague, please do so. This is your safe zone. You can ask any question from anybody here. We are going to help each other improve. And yeah, so just feel free, ask questions, help each other. Let's grow as a community.
Anybody?
So do you want me to just break the ice and just ask the the question? Because what I saw was, by the way, congratulations to everybody. I was just so proud to keep be hearing all of you actually understanding what your role is, and some of you reporting excellent past successes and plans, and all of you actually had fantastic plans for the future. and congratulations on that. And I know some of you are members of smaller chapters or chapters that are just starting. And then some of you are members of or are leaders of chapters that have been around for a number of years, and you're kind of building on the successes of your predecessors. You have conferences and things like that. So I think one question that I would ask if I were a leader from a smaller chapter that's just starting is like, how big are your committees when you can pull off a conference, organizing a conference that takes a lot of volunteers? So I'm actually really curious, some of you that come from very successful big chapters, how many volunteers do you have on your committees?
So I can take that. The last TPEC that was held in January this year, we had about 35 students who volunteered to make it happen, and we had sort of like divided them into different groups, and we had a technical group, and we had people who would get in touch with industry and try to see if there are people out there willing to sponsor us. And we had another group who would engage with speakers from academia as well as from industry. So I would say, and because of the pandemic, we couldn't meet in person, so we had to arrange frequent Zoom meetings and get in touch and see what each group has been doing over and planning for the next steps. But I would say, like, when we started out in 2017, it was a huge learning curve because that was the first time we were doing this and with no prior experience. But slowly over time, we learned how to navigate various obstacles, I would say, that often pop up when you're trying to organize such an event. But yes, communication, and unless you don't have people who are willing to make it happen, and it's really hard to pull this off. Yeah, and it always helps if you have people in your committees that have some experience so when we started out, we had a couple of people who had a little bit of experience in organizing conferences, and some of them were postdoctorate associates working here, and they guided us a little bit about how to get started and how to then keep it going. So yeah, I would say, like, you need at least a large group of people. Mostly in our case, we had all of them were graduate students to begin with, but now we have a good number of undergraduates who are willing to step up and participate in making this happen. So yes, and we made good use of social media on LinkedIn, on Facebook. We created pages on Twitter, Facebook, and trying to get the attention of the people in the community and outside as well. So you need focused people, really passionate ones who would apart from because as graduate students we have a ton of research work to do, and this is on top of of what you're already committed to. So yeah, a large group, and dividing that group into subgroups and giving tasks to each subgroup, and then we had each subgroup would have sort of a leader, and he would have some people working under him or her, and then they would report to that person, and that person would report to the chair of the committee that would be responsible for organizing the conference. So it takes a lot of learning. For smaller chapters out there, you're always welcome to get in touch with us, and we'll be more than willing to help on how to get started on these things. But yes, experience is the best teacher in this scenario.
Thank you very much. That's excellent.
Thank you.
I can take the question from Ivan in chat. The question is, how can we get to 40 PS student branch members? And I can speak a bit about what we do here. And again, we do have a lot of power professors here and their graduate students. It all adds up. But one thing we do is at the beginning of each semester, we go to each of the undergrad powers related course, that is, and we ask the professors ahead of time and then go and attend one of the classes and just give a 5-10 minute talk. And many of the times, honestly, these professors do help a lot too, because they often encourage their students to become a member, or sort of make it like 1 credit extra if you do that. So in that way, they all enroll in, even if say one class of 50 people enroll, that's like a large number on their own. So they get enrolled into our newsletter thing, and they become our members with the at the Georgia Tech organization. They don't necessarily become IEEE student members right away. That's something we are trying to increase, but that helps to at least get them get them through the door. And then whatever events we host, if they are interested in that, that sort of even helps them to decide if power is the path that they want to go, and so on. So really reaching out to undergrads has helped us increase our numbers.
And to add to that, guys, so Texas A&M and Georgia Tech, they had PS before PS was formed, kind of. They're very big universities, so they are the outliers. It's not a negative way, but I think they are outliers in the size and the force, the momentum they have. So maybe you don't have 240 students in your E department, but you can still have a PE student branch which is active. And at the end of the day, it's not mostly about numbers. And these universities, these guys who are leading this, volunteers, the student branch chapters, they are big, but they also deliver value. That's why people still come to their, volunteer for the student branch chapter, and they still can maintain the size. So at the end, I think even if you have 10, and we just need 6 to maintain, 5 to maintain our status. But even if you have 10, if you give value, and we can give value because, you can get speakers, you have a lot of stuff here with us, with the big PS network. If you give value, that is what matters, I think. Like, how much value can you give your members? Be it 5, 10, 15, or 20. That's my take on it. And don't be stressed because, okay, we have only 10 members. That's fine, because maybe your university only has 20 PS, grad students, or PS undergrads and grads. That is totally fine. There's not, that is not something we can control. But what we want to give is the value from our side to the people who are interested. So don't get discouraged on that fact. just a point that I'd like to make.
Edward King has his hand raised. Anything you'd like to add, Edward?
No, I just had another question, but I'll let anyone who has anything else to add to go first.
Sonia, go ahead.
Okay, so I just kind of want to ask, I know in the previous sessions we were talking about the importance of learning the demographic of your university and planning your workshops or other engagement activities to your demographic. Just want to get the question out there. How do you, or how would you gauge what your university demographic is interested in?
I can add one more thing to this. So we did try this. We tried a survey, and we sort of tried to broadly classify what all areas, like under power electronics, because we have professors in all these areas. So obviously there are grad students and classes along those areas. So power electronics heavy sort of thing, or more power system within that. Like, we sort of tried to have that. I would say that was somewhat helpful. Again, many of the people did select a lot of things. So even though they may or may not show up to the events, but that's something we tried. And then in general, one more thing that helped, and this just happened last year, is that all the officers were from different research groups. So they sort of all had their own, one thing, they all had their own leads on, like, speakers that they could get to. So we sort of had a variety there, and they sort of had their own friends and colleagues, which are sort of not overlapping with others. So we could just get a diverse, I mean, I know the last conversation we had a lot about diversity, and I think that helps. Like, if all the officers are from your own lab group, then you cannot think outside, like what are the people other than your lab group interested in? So diversity in general has helped.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks so much.
And you could also make it a little broad when you're doing events like Priya, and if you see the events that they had done, don't make it too specific. Like, how do we get into net zero? Like everyone is interested, like you want to know, like, how do we get in? You ask Jesse Jenkins, or you ask, Saifur Rahman to come talk about smart cities, something like that, like more general and where people can relate to, more people can relate to. So that is another way of looking at it.
I have one more thing to add. So yes, we asked Professor Rahman to talk about one technical topic, but he also was kind enough to come and talk to us about technical papers, which is not specific to an area, but that benefits everybody, right? So I think that was a great talk, and a lot of people attended that. A lot of people got something out of value from that. So again, that still comes under a technical talk, but it's not specific to an area that can be of interest to a lot of people.
Cool. Thanks so much for your input, guys.
Let me add something, if I may, to this discussion. I want, like Priya just said, you want to be relevant to a bigger community of students, not just your group. This is our objective. The reason is we are very lucky. IEEE has more than 40 societies. Only us has the word energy in our name, Power and Energy Society. Nobody can say that. Nobody can say that out of 40 societies. And today, decarbonization, global warming, climate change, all very hot topic. I was listening, and I was this morning watching CNN. They spent a half hour with Farid Zakaria about the global warming, the heating and flooding and fire and all that kind of stuff. We can take leadership. Just 2 people can do that, not 20, not 200. 2 people can do that. Just catch the flame and then stand up. And if you don't have a power group, big power group, go to the department head and tell him or her, sir, this is how we want to talk about. They'll be excited to see students taking leadership in educating the whole campus, not just power students. People join a group because they see value in the group. I've seen people in mechanical engineering take my class. I teach a class on alternative energy. MEs, architecture, civil engineering. I teach a course on renewable energy. That what energy catches them. So I would suggest all 10 of you here, and more than the 10 just spoke here, take that flag, energy, decarbonization, global warming, climate change, changing of weather. What can you do? And I can come back and talk to all of you. I teach that class. For me, it's easy to do that. But point is, you find a professor, maybe in civil engineering. He or she's working on climate change issues for flooding, for example. Bring him or her to speak to your group. So do not limit yourself to only AA professors and AA students. Leaders are leaders of the whole community. And we have the word energy in our names. We have legitimate right to talk about this thing. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I know that we've already been talking with our advisor, so we'll definitely be taking that idea to our advisor and see if we can organize anything like that. Thanks so much.
And to add to what Priya said, and as well as Professor Saifur Rahman said, what we did here at A&M, one way to sort of like gauge what your fellow students are interested in is to sort of like have a weekly meetups. So what we did was, and this is of course pre-pandemic, we would every day, like every Wednesday of every week, we would sort of get together and like people from electrical engineering, not necessarily power energy group, even people outside the power and energy group. And then we would have people presenting their research or somebody else's research. And that would give us a chance to, get to know like what other people are doing, as well as they would also get a chance to practice their, presentation skills. And a lot of the people, I've heard this personally, they came up to me and they thanked me for, I was the person, the idea, I first, organized these seminars, and it helped them for their final defense presentations as well. So, and this was totally like we wouldn't, impose or force anybody to get up and speak. This would be totally on volunteer basis. But gradually, what I saw was like a lot of people, got interested in this. And when we started out, we had like 3 people who, signed on the sign up sheet. And the last meeting we had was, I guess, around in March 2020, just before the spring break of March, and we had about around 60 people in that seminar on that day, and this has been going on for the past 2 or 3 years. And right now, I can tell you like what people in my department are interested in, and what are the topics that they would like to talk about, and this helps you get to know other people better, and also what's happening outside your own group. So yeah, so organizing these weekly seminars, things like that, or anything where you can just get to meet other people and talk about the latest stuff that you're working on, or see what they're working on. These things help.
That sounds like an awesome idea. Thank you so much.
So maybe I could add one thing. So do you guys know about the monthly podcast that we are doing? Have you listened to any of the work that we did? So every month we have a monthly podcast. We are sending you guys a monthly newsletter. So these are very generic topics, and it could be a student branch chapter event where you guys stay there, and it is a very casual conversation, and it is very broad. So we have Stephen Wishart from Duke Energy coming up in August. We had Doug Hausburn, just a recent podcast about Doug Hausburn, about the work they did, technical topics. It's just a conversation with these people who have been around for so long. And you can just make it a student branch chapter event, like if you want to start, just you can ask questions. It's very interactive. It's very friendly chat podcast kind of thing. So if you have not checked it out, I strongly encourage you to have a look. Thank you, James.
Thank you, everyone, for your input. So I wanted to go ahead and get everybody who is in the chat involved. So we have a question here. Hi, I'm from George Mason University. At GMU, we are new to PES and planning to begin at PES chapter in the years 2021 through 2023. Do you have any advice?
Can I start? I do, because they are my neighbor, George Mason. I'm in the same area. So maybe you can come and see me someday if you like in Arlington. What I would suggest, if you want to start something, you need a core group of people. How do you attract maybe 10 people to be your team? I just said before, pick a topic. GMU has professors who teach power area. Go to that professor. Tell them you want to do a seminar online on why so much flooding going on in Europe, why so much fire in California and Northwest, whatever it is, or in China, for example. Talk to them. Once put that up, it's easy. The department will help you to put that webinar online, and then you take the leadership. Then they know you exist. You're doing something useful. They'll see, I can guarantee 20 people will show up. They will, I want to help you, see what can I do for you. So that'll be my advice at GMU. Wind.
Does anyone else have anything? Does anyone else have anything they would like to say? Okay. So one more question from the chat from Lane Smith. Which programs or offerings do you find your students like the most? Anybody would like to start off?
Well, I'm Virginia Tech. We have a very long power program for a long time. Sala knows that very well. And we teach a lot of power courses. The most popular power course is my course, alternate energy systems. We have 60, 70, 80 people every spring semester. That's because it's broader. It's not doing things like production for small things. Well, those are useful things. But if you want to get a bigger group of people attracted to you, be more broad, more general, so that you can have a bigger audience attracted to your job. So pick something up, again, coming back to the same issue, global warming, climate change, is very attractive now. So pick something along those lines and then take a small piece and then focus on it.
Thank you very much, Cypher and everyone. I just like to remind everybody what Hasala said earlier. You know, the CSAC team or the Region 1 to 7 team under Hasala's leadership is organizing these monthly meetings, you know, where they invite, I don't know if they're monthly, Hasala, please correct me if they're not, where they actually invite, you know, people to speak on hot topics. So for you, it's very easy to forward that invitation to the rest of your, you know, like rest of the people in your department. They don't have to be members. So that could be also your first event with very little effort. Just invite everybody, hey, participate. Let me know afterwards what you thought about it. Let's talk about it. Oh, by the way, you know, this is about Power and Energy Society of the IEEE. You know, I'm working on establishing a new student chapter. Would you be willing to join me? We need at least 6 members to be members of PES in order to form a chapter. Things like that. So you can always like spark or ignite that little spark, you know, with your student colleagues. And you know, I know students who started student chapters, you know, in my area, and they would just go around and, you know, meet their friends and say, hey, can you join me? There's some cool things we could be doing. I need help. You know, please come along and let's establish this chapter. So good luck to all of you who are on your way to establish a new chapter, and help is always 1 email away. In the chat section, I've you know, seen people putting their email addresses, even from our you know, our best chapters, our high performing chapters, our outstanding chapters, who are inviting you, come talk to us. We can create a joint event. That, you know, everything is virtual now, so it's not a problem to join into you know, somebody else's virtual event. So take those opportunities. Those first steps are the hardest ones, but we are here to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Armstrong. Yeah, that's what this event is for, everyone. You know, it's the networking. You know, we have some emails in the chat, so you know, if you have any questions about how to interact with the students that you're leading in your positions, you know, any events that you want to get started and you need any advice on, don't be afraid to, you know, reach out to these people, me, Conrad, Hasala. You know, we're here to, you know, we're here to help each other. We're in the same organization, so don't be afraid to reach out. I see that Amimo, he has his hand raised. Is there anything that you'd like to ask, Amimo?
Sorry, no, I think it stayed up from the previous session.
Okay, okay. So
Just adding 1 point, James. I'll send the chat here, the WhatsApp group again. So the idea is like continue this discussion and like exchange your contacts, emails, LinkedIn profiles there. So you can have like activities in different chapters, and we hope to have all the leaders there, okay? Yeah, it's in the chat right now.
okay, yeah, if you would like to exchange contact information with each other, the link for the WhatsApp chat, the WhatsApp group is in the chat box. So you click that link and put your any way that you would like to be contacted by everyone. So you said Priya, she has a question. Go ahead, Priya.
Yeah, thanks. So I know we had a great talk earlier about just getting more students in, like registered actually as the IEEE under student, you know, I mean under that. And I know we are having the 50% off thing, which is also very great thing. But I wanted to know if anything else in addition to that has worked for anybody here to just get more of their members into actually IEEE be a student membership.
So you guys know that the first year for PES is free forever. So it has been this has been out there for like many years, and because of the pandemic, they decreased the student price by 50%. So you have a code, you put it there. So if you are a student member, then you have to pay 50% of the fee. If it's your first year at PES, then you get PES membership for free, and that has been ongoing. So yeah, so that's what Priya was referring to. If you don't know about it, I think this is a really good information to share with your with IEEE student members and prospective students. We want to make sure that they get the best out of it, and these are opportunities that's out there. So any answers to Priya here, guys? Any suggestions? Did you guys know about this, or what are your ideas on this?
Hasala, the biggest challenge I have seen myself, I talk to many students globally, in fact, they don't know that 50% thing is happening. They just do not know. This is the biggest barrier. If they don't know, they will not come forward. So I would suggest to everybody here, just beat the bushes, go around and tell them, send an email, send a broad email to everybody. Do you know that we have 50% discount this year? In fact, I know in Virginia Tech, my department staff has email of everybody's email there. Everybody's email was a student, like 900 undergrads and 500 grad students. Just tell them, this is something for IEEE. Can you please broadcast this? That now the membership dues IEEE 50%, PS 0 for the year one. Just mention that. They'll give a big boost to this number that we are trying to increase.
Definitely, thank you, Professor. That's really hugely helpful for us to, if the professors give that word out, then folks just follow. So yeah, thanks.
And don't be frightened, or sometimes undergrads, like when I was undergrad, I was a little shy on that front, but don't be shy. Like, they want us to connect to them and just share this information. So I think that they're waiting for us to say this, they want us to ask these questions from them and give them these requests. So don't be shy. If you're an undergrad, you might be a freshman, but that doesn't matter. Like, this is what they want from us. They want us to reach out, and they are very friendly and supportive in things like this, special things like this.
Yeah, it's definitely important to put yourself out there. Do it scared. Even if that you may think that they might not like it, or this might not be their type of thing. You don't know unless they ask. So never be afraid to put yourself out there. So I see a couple of other hands raised. Let's go with Cesar. You have a question, Cesar?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for the great ideas and experience
You
that
can,
you guys.
we'll only hear your mic's a little low. Volume's a little low.
Sorry, can you hear me better now? Or is still low?
Still a little low, but I think we can go with it for now.
Yeah, I think you can change, and I will fix my phone first, and I will raise again then.
Right. So while Caesar's getting ready, we'll go with Mohammed. Mohammed, you have a question?
Hey everyone, thank you very much. I really like the discussion. I think in the discussion, my question was answered. I was gonna ask regarding how to start up and get the undergraduate students engaged. But thank you all for your discussion. It was helpful.
Thank you, Mohammed. All right, Cesar, are you ready?
Yes, can you hear me better now?
Oh, very better, much better. Thank you.
Sorry
All
about
right, go ahead. No, it's good. Go ahead.
So first, thanks for everyone for the experience again. It was really great discussion here. I just want to, as a new chapter, we want to have a little bit about your point of views and experience of how to connect with the industry and to bring, for example, new professors from other industries to give a speech or even do some partners with the chapter and how to create the connections and if other chapters that has more experience on that or how to start bringing these connections up basically.
I can pitch into that. So some of our speakers last year, they came off of contacts from some of our professors, but we also went ahead and did a lot of just cold cold messaging out in LinkedIn, like zero contact directly. Like I reached to some super senior person in my SO. I like that I did not even have them in my contacts. I just like wrote a short message. This is who I am, and this is what we are looking for. Nobody says no, especially like virtual. They don't have to travel. They don't have to do anything. They just have to give 1 hour of their time. So nobody ever turned down, all of our cold messages on LinkedIn so far. So that's one way. Just like go scour the LinkedIn, and you might find a lot of great people who, if they don't have the time now, they'll like probably pitch in later on. But you can always do that. That's something that worked for us.
And another way is to just get in touch with your local professional chapters. So that's a chapter that's led, in US and Canada, the majority of the members are actually from industry. So there is a high likelihood that your professional chapter that's in the vicinity actually has people from industry on the committee. And you can reach out to them. They will have their network. If you start even going to their events, you will find some names from the local community, some local experts that you can invite. So that would be my suggestion. Get in touch with your professional chapters and try to find those links through them.
So I might as well add another thing here to your question. As our work here as graduate students, sometimes we have to deal with the, industrial companies. So sometimes we used to ask them if we can have access to the platforms they use in their company so that our undergraduate students can, get access to educational version or so. And we did something like that previously as part of our, contact with the industry. That might help.
Nice. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
One more idea very quickly, 30 seconds. In your department, you'll see students who has done internship in companies. Always have someone like this. Get hold of them. Because they did internship with a company, they know their bosses in those companies. And since this person that supervised the student has been in touch with the student and their work, they'll be very happy to come in now online to give a talk because they know your department and the students that took part in the internship program.
Do you guys know that you can access the distinguished lecturer list as well? Are you aware of that? It's for members only. If you type in IEEE PS distinguished lecturers in Google, it's going to come up. You have to put in your PS credentials that you use to log into your IEEE account. And you will be able to access the distinguished lecturer list. It has over 100 people on it. And you definitely have some people that are close to you on the list. You can check them out. Some of them will be from academia. Some of them will be from industry. They all have interesting topics. So that's another source of potential speakers for your events.
Okay. All right. So don't have any more questions from the chat. Does anybody have anything else they would like to add? Or any more questions?
Small point, James.
Mhm.
It's just that these companies, they want you, they want to pitch their companies to you. So don't be shy to approach them either. Because you guys, they want the best, the cream of the crop to be recruited to their companies. Let them fight out, get a few of them on a room, in one room, pitch their companies to you. Some of your universities might not have a career fair, so this might be an opportunity for you to bring value, because they want to come. Like, I know from Clemson, there are lots of companies that kind of send emails out to our student branch, especially student branch here, because they are the more established kind of entity for IEEE, asking for meetings to pitch what they do to the students, like Burns and Mac, for sure they do it. And a lot of companies out there, they want you. So don't be shy to approach them and say, hey, give us pizza and soft drinks, and you can pitch this, and, we can have a chat later. And that's the value we bring. We have that brand. They want to be associated with PES. It's a big thing for them, and it's a lot of value for us, win-win for everybody. So just approach them. And I think we can do something on this from a larger PES platform, but you can also reach out and get these connections going. And then maybe all of us who's interested on this can look at how we can make it into a more formal framework, so that people can easily get more connections. The companies can do more presentations, and we bridge the gap.
Can I quickly ask something without hogging up time? Okay.
Sure.
So for those of you who are have experienced a more established student organization or anything in general, do you have newsletters for putting about your events and whatever companies' emails might be asking with open positions and all that, or do you send out as the information comes in? Have you found one to be working better than the other in any way? Any opinions?
I can jump in. In working with our school's Clean Energy Institute as well as the department, there's merit to both, of course. I find students generally prefer the once a week kind of newsletter, especially if stuff's not super time sensitive. I know a lot of people who end up just putting some of these emails and lists and stuff in spam folders pretty much, and then they miss a lot of great opportunities. And so I think it's probably better from that perspective. But if stuff's time sensitive and a lot of stuff does come across, it is time sensitive, you can't really always wait for a weekly email. And so yeah, it's tough to toe the line, but from what I've seen and heard from folks in the past is they prefer the once a week newsletter type email.
Great, thanks for that input.
So I did have a question actually for anybody on the chat. It was about, I guess, org legacy, I suppose. Or maybe that's the wrong word, but the question is, how do you make sure that, when you leave your current leadership position, that the org is going to be running the way that it currently is when you're in leadership?
Jana,
Did you understand the question, or should I phrase it?
I was pinging Majana. Do you have any
Yeah.
reflections on that?
Absolutely. So the way to ensure that you have continuity after you graduate, that somebody's behind you, following behind you, is really to have a big committee. If your chapter is run by 2 people and you both graduate in the same year, that's not a good situation for your chapter. The trick is to involve people early on in the program, let's say even the first or second year. You bring them on as website, development or maintenance. They can be in charge of particular events. And then, when they come closer to graduation, they may take on the role of a chair. And so there's always continuity. That's what all big student chapters do. The ones that stay for many, many years, they have big committees. They have maybe even 10 people, right? They have 10 roles. You're free to make roles as you see them fit. You can have a role of a coordinator or a chair of a specific event, and you assign it to one of your colleagues, probably somebody younger. So by the time they're on your committee for a couple of years, they're gonna really feel attached. They're gonna want to be in a role of a chair or a vice chair or a secretary, and when you leave, they're gonna remain, and they're gonna do the same thing for the next generation of students. I believe any one of you who are a part of the chapters that are like really active and big chapters, you can probably tell us how you were recruited, and you probably were recruited early on. So please feel free to comment.
I think having at least one open meeting throughout a month does help. So it's not just your core officer team, but also open to all the members. So even if they don't have to do anything, they don't have to take up any role, just be there. Being there, that sorts of get somebody's feet wet. They know how the inner workings of something is, and not just passive audience in a in a technical talk. So I think that is something that is definitely helpful.
That is absolutely correct, Priya. And some of you, when you graduate, you're going to move into professional chapters. You're going to maybe take on some of the IEEE roles and etc. So you will notice that all IEEE meetings, regardless where they're happening, or the section meetings or other society chapter meetings, they're always open to people to join. That's where they're advertised. So you should advertise your meetings so people know that they're invited. It's not a closed group of people. Anybody's welcome to join in. Thank you very much, Priya. That was an excellent comment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Dr. Armstrong. So nobody has anything else to add or any more questions. If you have any more questions, we will have the town hall meeting at 5:15, where we'll have an open discussion there as well. So any questions that you weren't able to ask or you didn't think of at this current time, you'll have the time to ask it there. So with that, we will bring this current session to a close.